Hey, welcome to my happy place. You know what? Every week when we come on here, and you probably gonna laugh at this. I think of Mrs. Doubtfire. Why do I think of Mrs. Doubtfire? Because she always goes, "Hello," and that's what I almost do. Aren't you glad I don't do that?
Yeah.
Okay, we got one computer that needs to be volume needs to be turned off. I think you got it. Help him, please. Linda, hello. And Linda, hello. We've got two Lindas in this evening. Tonight we're going to do some fun stuff. At least I think it's going to be fun. I actually had a blast working on this one, guys. It is the Triad Teardrops. Hi, Patricia. Linda Smith Marndale and Debbie are here. Hello. Silver Dolphin, nice to see you again. Yeah, I have three Lindas here now. How am I going to keep you guys straight, huh? Okay, Joliet. Hi, Barbara. Oh, it's so nice to see you here. So the Triad Teardrops is a template set. It's actually 7 pieces, and it has 2.5, 3.5, and 5.5 inch teardrops only. Okay. But each teardrop size has three components to it. Okay. So we've got three of the big ones, three of the medium, and three of the small ones. But the small ones, as we can see, are all on one template. Let me show you some of the markings here while I move these off to the side. There we go. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at how these are marked. Because what we have is needle channels. Who doesn't know that needle channels are my favorite thing, huh? Judy P is here, Charlene's here, Carol is here, Lynn, Jackie, oh my goodness, Carla's here, Patricia. Oh, Patricia, I already said hello. Yes. Okay, Connie Lee, Janice, and Anne are all here. Oh, you guys really came out in force tonight. Randy Cheney's here from Kearney, Oklahoma. Okay, here it is. Needle channels on all three of those. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to stitch an entire rotation. Then we're going to move the template up here, stitch an entire rotation, and then move the template over here and stitch an entire rotation. Now, just because we have all these rotations doesn't mean we have to use them either. That's kind of the nice thing about it. We can use them if we want, we don't have to. What Donna did was she put the markings here so that it falls on the horizontal center of the teardrop. She also put an edge teardrop on the left and right side so we would know exactly how to line this up and it comes out perfect. We have vertical and horizontal crosshairs on it. When I first saw it, I was kind of disappointed. I was thinking to myself, boy, there should be more crosshairs than this on it until I used it. And then it dawned on me, you don't need any more than what's here. Donna knew what she was doing better than I did, that's for sure. So if we look at the back of the package here, tonight we're going to give you some examples of some of these, and I'm going to give you two designs that aren't exactly on here. This is going to be one that I'm going to be looking at, but I'm going to shake it up just a little bit, and one that's not on here at all. So when we take a look at the template, it's going to have A, B, or C on it, such as this one has A, B, and C in it. But these numbers mean that they all go together, and what you need to remember is the sizes all have to be the same. Okay, so the 3 inch and the 4 inch, 3.5 inch, and 4.5-inch Triad Teardrops are basically marked exactly the same. I'm just going to real quick show you that ABC thing, okay? So here's the A, which is the largest one. Then we kind of come in here and put B in. And what you're going to notice is B is much slimmer than A. So like this one would be me, this one would be Ken, okay? And then we have the child. And that would be this one, which would be Sarah. So, okay.
Oh, give me the skinny one, thanks.
Sarah's happy I gave her the skinny one. So anyway, that is how they are marked distinctly for us. So let's go ahead and I'm going to take this out now. And let's bring up the sample that I've got started for you, okay? Now what you're going to see is I've got a couple different sizes going on here. And let's start with the small one. This is an 8-point crosshair that I put on here. Okay. Would I put more than that? Not for this design. Okay. If you got into 16, it just would end up being such a jumble of thread in here. I don't think that it would look great. Would it look okay? Yeah, probably would. But I would like to see you simplify it out a little bit. If you want to put something in this space, and I could definitely understand you're wanting to, if you had a circular piece that you were trying to fill up, what you could do is come in here and stitch from here to here. Then you want to travel from here to here and stitch from here to here. So there are other ways to fill it up without putting too much more in the center of this motif. Okay, let me get these templates out of the way and I'm going to show you how we're going to do this. Now, because I've already started, we're going to pretend this is our reference line 1. We're going to pull our bobbin thread up in the center. We're going to put the bulbous side of the template in the center on this one and put the pointy side out. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just readjust you a little bit or I can't see. And I think you probably want me to see. I don't know, maybe not, right? So we're just going to make a little bit of a detour there. Hi, Sue, Jana, Terry, it's nice to see you. Glad you made it. Trace, oh, look, it says I'm here too. I think that might be my husband. I'm not sure.
It's on Facebook. It's me.
Okay. Oh, it's on Facebook, so it's Sarah. Okay, so here we go. I am in the center of the design. I'm going to pull my bobbin thread up, put my needle back down, and get back in the center. Now, you're going to notice this will create quite a bit of thread. It's going to be a thread nest in the center. There's no doubt about it. So you don't want to, let me back up here. You don't want to spend too much time here. You don't want to hang around with all the other kids. You want to get out of there as quickly as you can. So I'm only going to do 1 stitch. Then on machine, and then we're going to move out. Well, you see, that just gives you an idea of how much thread I've got in there. Now, the nice thing about having so much thread in the center is that you don't have to bury it. So I'm going to stop right here with my needle down. I'm keeping my hand on this template. I do not want it to move. I'm going to grab my thread here and I'm just going to snip it off. There we go. It's gone. I don't have to worry about holding it. I don't have to worry about it getting caught anywhere. Now, there's two schools of thought on this, I am sure. One may be to go ahead and turn and get all of these A's done first, then come back, do the B, and come back and do the C. That's fine. That's perfectly okay. Or you may want to just do ABC, ABC, ABC. And I think that's what I'm going to work on here. So when we take a look at this, after we have the A component on here, this B component is much thinner around the center. However, the height remains the same. And that's how we get this beautiful triad effect. So what I'm going to do is make sure I didn't move anything. I'm going to double check with my spacing gauge here. Everything is good. It stayed. It definitely stayed there. Dee, hi, it's nice to see you. Oh my gosh, it's so good to have everybody here today. Okay, I am making sure that I am lining up my vertical center with the A component that I've already stitched in there. And again, I'm not going to spend too much time in that center. I don't want to hang out there. We want to get as few stitches as we can in there and just move right along. So off we go and back to the center. And when we do a lot of our spin effects, I tell you, go ahead and move out one stitch. With this particular template set, you do not want to do that because it will throw the whole design off. So I'm going to check here. I'm well lined up. I'm going to use my spacing gauge and it looks perfect. I've got both hands on my template. Going to take that first stitch to move myself out really quickly. And here's the third component of our Triad Teardrop. Isn't that gorgeous? You know what else it reminds me of? A cooking whisk, like we would use to beat our eggs. Okay, now I'm going to give you this little tip here. You do not need to go back and change this to the A component again. It's okay because everything is going to be stitched the same. So you can start with the one that you're already in, and that leaves you one less time that you have to move the template around. So I'm starting with C, and that doesn't hurt a thing. It's perfectly okay. Go back to the center. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move to my B. And if I wanted to, I could move to A. It's entirely up to you. You have a lot of personal decisions to make with this particular template. After you see what it's capable of doing, I think you're going to want to get this. Okay, so here's our B component. We're going to come over here, and I got a little bit off here, okay, which does happen to me. And I'm going to tell you right out, the reason that I got off was because I noticed that I was off maybe a quarter of a stitch on my tip here. I'm sure you can see that. Ken says he saw it. So if he saw it, you all saw it because he's a man. Okay. So anyway, am I going to worry about that? No, I really am not. I'm just going to go ahead, put my A component back on, and I'm going to do the best that I can to make sure everything is lined up correctly. And we're going to put the A component in next. Now, once this egg component is in, what you're going to see is this goes away, doesn't it? It totally goes away, blends in. I didn't have to do any contortions. I fixed it. Ken said I fixed it. And by golly, I certainly did. You see how beautiful that turned out? Nobody would ever be the wiser. So don't tell on me, okay? Hi, Marcia. Good to see you. Okay, so now we're going to go. We got 2 more rotations to do. Sadly, though, what's happening is you can probably tell I have lost my my markings, which does happen when we're using chalk. So I'm going to get my alkali liner out with my Ultimate Pounce powder, and we're just going to refresh those, yes. And there we go. And that's all there is to it. See, easy peasy, right? Oh, Suzanne, you got it. Can't wait to use it now. I'm so glad to hear that. It's a fun one. And wait till you see what else I've got planned for you. I know after I got done playing with this to show to you guys, it was like, oh, I could do this and I can do this. Oh, somebody's got his hand up.
Sue Hunt had a question.
Sue Hunt had a question. What is the question?
Bob intention.
I'm going to back up, Sue, and look for your. Okay. Sue says, I can't seem to get my tension on top and bottom to be okay. Any suggestions? Sue, my suggestion would be to take a practice sandwich. Okay. Well, first of all, what kind of machine are you on, Sue? Are you on a manual machine? Or are you on one of the new, more modern machines? Couple things you want to do. First, you know that we need to check that needle and change it, right? You want to check your bobbin. You want to make sure that it's not too loosely wound, okay? And the way you can tell that is by poking your finger in here. If you are able to make a dent in the bobbin thread, it's not wound tight enough, and that can cause problems. The other thing, you've got a baby lock. So, oh, Sue, you've got a good machine. Yeah. Okay. So the other thing, of course, floss your tension discs. I know people get crazy when I say that, but when you get it in your tension disc, just floss it back and forth. Sometimes just a little bit of lint and your tension discs are hidden away. But sometimes a little bit of lint will get caught in there and it can wreak havoc with what you're doing. The other thing, and I saw somebody suggest that it might have been Debbie, same thread on the top and the bottom until you're able to clear that issue. If you would like Sue to talk to me further about it, I'd be more than happy to sit down and discuss it with you. You can look on the instructor page on SewSteady.com under the education tab. My phone number is there. Please don't hesitate to use it. We can walk through the things that I know, and I don't know everything. I really don't. My husband is very, very good, and I know he'd be happy to have the conversation along with us. So please don't be shy, okay? Okay, and Nat says she's got a leg road that likes the upper tension on 4. Okay, it will cause issue if not threaded properly. That's 99% of the time what we see is that something just didn't go right when it was going in. And Oops, there. Mine just went bonkers on me too. Yeah, and some machines don't like particular thread. I don't know if you're aware of that. I have a Bostona Viking, and it does not like a certain Italian thread. We won't get into names, okay? But yeah, I just can't use that thread in it. It just does not like it. So there's a whole lot of different things, and we can play around with it, and hopefully we can get it adjusted for you. Also, the next thing I think I would ask is, when was the last time it was in for service? Because sometimes little dust bunnies get in places you don't think they would ever be able to fit into. So that's my limited knowledge. I hope it's helpful, Sue. I really do. But don't hesitate to call, okay? I'm sincere about that. Okay, and here's our component C. We have one more to do on this particular design, and I like this one a whole lot. With the instructions that Donna gives you, she actually does this design with 2 different sizes of templates. And boy, that looks awfully nice too. You can tell it's getting very thick in the center here. Okay. This is going to be our last rotation. Don't forget now, when we are doing these curves, the curved lines, we want to make our stitches just a little bit shorter. It's going to make them much smoother on the curved lines, because our machines don't know how to stitch curves. They only know how to stitch straight lines. Okay, and one more B component. And I did it again. I got off. Ken didn't say it. I did. I'll be the first one to admit my mistakes. Yeah, I'm one of those people. Okay, but we're going to fix it right now. And not that I'm looking to make excuses, but sometimes the camera just plain old gets in the way when we're stitching. And up to the top, and you'll see my template kind of got cattywampus on me there, but it's not going to be a problem. You see that right here. It comes back right where it's supposed to. Okay, so now we're going to take it out, and there's our first motif. Isn't that gorgeous? I really like that. Mom and Pop Quilt Shop, hi, nice to see you. Glide, Linda Shell says glide works much better. Let's see what she has to say. She started out using that Italian thread in her Viking, but found that glide works much better at a third of the cost. You know what? You're exactly right, Linda. That Italian stuff is really expensive. Yeah, just put it on the shelf and let everybody think you use it.
You're rich people here.
Yeah, we're rich people. We've got the Italian thread. Mom and Pop, I think this is the first time I've seen you here. Welcome. Okay, so what we've got going on here, and you're going to see very easily here, I'm going to put a dark background here for you, because what I want you to see, goodness, is you see how far this is sticking up right here? This is a really good place to take and steam it and use that tailor's clapper on it. Oh, Debbie, you have the same problem with that kind of thread in your Viking too. It must be a Viking thing. Oh, anyway, I love this. I absolutely love this. What I'd like to do is I'd like to get my Derwent pencils out and kind of go over it a little bit, get some ideas going there. Okay, so this I did with the 2.5 inch. Okay, so the 2.5 inch, remember how most of our templates, for example, if we have a Spinifex and it's 2.5 inch, it's going to be 2.5 inches from here to here. The Triad's not like that. The Triads are 2.5 inches. I'm going to put it up here so you can see it better. Just like that. Are 2.5 inches from the tip of the design to the center. So you'll want to remember that whenever you're using the triads. There's a few different triads. We just started covering the teardrop tonight. There's a triad oval, and I can't remember. I'm sure there's one more though. Okay, so that is just one thing you want to be aware of. It's not the end of the world. We just want to know that it's that way. So when we go to measure out the area that we want to put these templates in, we are able to get it right. Thanks, Deb. Thanks, Judy. Okay, this one is the same thing as this, but with the point in. And I like this too. This one's more like an egg whisk. I am going to really quick go ahead and let's remark some of these reference lines because they have been getting quite a workout today and they tend to get shot, disappear. And we don't want that. We want to see them up front. Okay, so what I'm going to do on this one is I'm going to do all of the A component, then come back to all of the B and all of the C. Okay, let's move those out of the way. Hot air balloons.
Everybody's saying.
Everybody is saying hot air balloons. Wait till you see what I've got coming up. Barbara likes the pointed toward Christine. I'm so glad that we all have the option to do the thing that we like best. And it's okay. It doesn't have to be like everybody else. As a matter of fact, I kind of encourage my students, don't be like everybody else. Be unique, be different. Draw outside the lines. That's what my mom taught me. Draw outside the lines. She was an artist, and she did draw outside the lines. Actually, the Impressionists were her favorite, and she revived the oldest form of easel painting known to man, which was called encaustic. And what it was beeswax resin and pigments mixed together. And then she'd take a blowtorch and she'd blow them in, and then she would take her brushes and manipulate them into a picture. Well, she asked me one time to go to a demonstration with her, which I did. I was happy to do that, carry her stuff for her and that stuff. And we got to the demonstration, and she pulled out her piece of wood that she was going to do the painting on. And she had a big old brush that you paint the house with. And she starts slathering this melted wax all over the place. And it just looked like a jumbled up mess of colors. I gotta tell you guys, I just sunk under the table wondering how she was going to pull that off. But when she was done, it was a beautiful picture. So don't worry about what things start out. Remember, it's what you end up with that matters. Okay, from here, as I said, I'm going to do all of the A components. Remember to keep these stitches just a little bit smaller. Normally I would, but we've got a few things I really want to get to tonight. So for me, I want to get this part, kind of want to just get it out of the way quick. Okay. There we go. By the way, guys, we did find out last week it was the internet that caused us all of those issues we had. The next morning, everything was like a charm. And we had some ugly weather in the neighborhood, so I'm probably pretty sure that's probably what caused it. You know, we become so reliant on this technology and we just take for granted it's going to be there every day. And sometimes Mother Nature has a different idea for us, doesn't she? Okay, there we go. I just ran out of bobbin thread. What do you think of that? So I'm going to really quick grab a bobbin, throw it in here. Whoops. And quite honestly, it doesn't matter what color it is. I think we'll use this one. Now, you all know that I'm working on a Singer 301. What I love, absolutely love about my Sew Steady table is that I don't have to take it off to change my bobbin. Isn't that cool? Just move it up, get the used bobbin out of the way, and put the new one in. It's so easy. It's so convenient. Seriously, I think they thought about everything with these older machines. But when they decided to make the tables this way, as far as I'm concerned, that's a huge win. And there we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull that thread up. And there we go. We're all set. We're going to go back to our component here, our A component, and figure out where we left off. And it's going to be right here. Now remember, this is a practice piece. I'm not going to take the time to bury threads and do all that. If this was a quilt that I was working on, I would probably pick this back to the center and start over again. It would give me the cleanest look to get back to where I was. But, whoops, I don't need to do that because it's a practice piece. So how do I know if I'm in the right spot? Whoops. I'm going to use my spacing gauge up here, and that looks really, really good. So let's do it this way too. Yeah, we're right where we need to be. Okay, so off we go. And we're going to come around. Remember, this is the big one. And stop right there. Now I'm going to go ahead and get this thread out of the way. There it is. Oh, I'd say we have a dog who wants to play Ball. Yes, we have to spell it. Because if we didn't, she would be over here throwing it into my lap. Okay, so we did A. Let's go ahead and do B. And this is a 3.5-inch template size. And that means when we're done with this entire rotation here, it will be 7 inches. We don't have to go back half a stitch here. Just want to make sure I'm in the right spot. Perfect. Okay, so this is component D. And I love how it just automatically travels over the bottom exactly where it's supposed to be. Isn't that cool? Donna was such an excellent designer. Sadly missed. Okay. Okay, now I am off just a hair on this. There's things we can do. As you can see, I need to go in that direction just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and move my tablet out of the way. I'm going to hand crank about a half a stitch there. And there we go. Now we're good to go. Okay. There we go. Lining up that vertical line. Really, when we're doing these rotations like this, the only thing we have to line up is our vertical center. But you know what? That's all you need. That's the nice part about this. You really don't need a whole lot of complicated math. How many of you are happy about that? I think I may be one of the very few people who love sewing math. Oh, it just is what it is. I was never good with geometry. My husband is. But when it comes to stitching and sewing and making blocks and throwing them, tearing them apart and putting them back together, I can math with the best of them. Okay, one more, and then we're going to put our component C in here. And we will have this one done as well. And I think for time's sake, I'm only going to do a few of them, okay? Because I've got some other things that I really want to show you.
Dana said she loves math, but her sewing skills are lacking.
Well, you know what you need to do with that?
Yes.
Jana, you need to practice. Practice, 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 right? I never took piano when I was growing up for two reasons. One, we didn't have one. And secondly, because I was told that you had to practice at least an hour a day. I didn't have an hour a day to give away to a piano. I had other things to do, right? But yes, we all did play instruments. Okay. Did I? Yes. So my daughter didn't even know that. Yeah.
Violin, right?
I played
Well,
guitar. When I was young, I started out with guitar, and then I started the mandolin and tried to do some fiddling.
Well, I remember all that. I was thinking when you were like a kid.
When I was a kid. No, it was guitar when I was a kid. Okay, almost there, guys. This is going faster than I expected, so we're just gonna finish this one out. What's that?
Mom, coach.
No, this is the first time I've had Mom and Pop in here. Mom and Pop, tell us about where you are, please. We'd love to hear about your quilt shop. All right, we're gonna go. Here is the last component C on this 7-inch design. And there we go.
And I don't stick quilting straight.
Okay, here we are. Now, I will let you know that this one in the back is just as thick, okay? It doesn't matter if we use the 3.5, the 4.5, what size we're using, it's going to be thick. And that's just all there is to it. But if we take our steam and our tailor's clapper, we can pound the living daylights out of that thing. If you don't have a clapper, you can go and get your husband's mallet. Okay. Now, what I found, where there was a discrepancy with being able to use the mallet is don't use a black mallet on the top of your fabric. It will kind of discolor things. So you can use a pressing cloth over the top of it, or you could get a gray palette or a mallet that won't transfer the color. Yeah.
I wonder if that was sarcasm.
I might have one right here. That's what I used before I got my tailor's clapper, and it works. I do still cover my area with a pressing cloth, though. I don't want to have any discoloration.
Jana asked, does it matter what the surface is?
The surface that you pound it on, it's
Solid.
it's good if it's a real solid piece of wood. Okay, thank you, Patsy. No husband, have my own mallet. Way to go, Debbie. Yeah, you want it to be very solid. I would not suggest doing it on a regular old ironing board. I have one of the tool chests, and it's a piece of solid wood on top that I use for my pressing surface. I've got it covered with a batting and fabric, so that is perfect for using the
It's a
mallet.
butcher block, isn't it?
It's a butcher block. Yes, thank you. I couldn't think of that word. Okay, guys. Now, you were telling me about hot air balloons before. Does this look like hot air balloons or not? This I thought would be really pretty for a border piece. Okay. I've got a much simpler one for a border piece. Oh, you're welcome, Jana. Thank you for asking. I know this is a good thing we ask. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here. If you have these templates and if you want to be able to replicate this design, grab a piece of paper and a pencil. And what we're going to do is we're going to give you some measurements. Okay. From the top to the bottom of this design, from here to here, it's 4¼ inches. Now, here we go with the math. I'm using the 2½ inch size, which is the one that has all 3 components on one template. So what I did to mark myself here is I went ahead and I put my bottom, and I call it my faux seam. It's a fake seam. It's not really a seam, but that's what we're looking at. That is the bottom. And then I went up here at 2½ and that is the top of this rotation. If we go in 1¼ inches, what we are drawing here is our horizontal center, this line right here. So you can see I've got 2½ inches from here to here, 1¼ inches from here to here, 1¼ inches from here to here. Okay. Now, I could have just put these touching each other, but I wanted them to be melded together in a cohesive design. So rather than starting here to do my 2½ inches, I actually came down 3/4 inch. So I'm actually a 1/2 inch above this horizontal center line. Okay, so I just went ahead and put a 1/2 inch in there. because that's where the top of my next layer is going to be. That's this one. Now I want my horizontal center, and remember the horizontal center, which is this line here, is 1¼ inches from the top or the bottom of the rotation. So I'm going 1¼ inches. This is a lot of marking, guys. I know it's a lot of marking. Now we're going to come back and we're going to put the bottom horizontal line, which here's our top, here's our bottom. Our design is 2½ inches. Castle. Well, hi, that's Diane Morris. Hi, nice to see you. Cloves of garlic. Just add roots. Carlo, oh my gosh, cloves of garlic. You're right. It does look like cloves of garlic. I didn't even think of that. Okay. And there that one goes. Okay, it looks like a jumbled up mess, doesn't it? But it really isn't. It's really very doable. So you can see here, this is my seam line, so I only did 1/2 of a rotation here. The next one I have to do here is going to be upside down. So that's where I'm going next. But I've got to get this little line in here to connect the two. The purpose of this line is so that we don't have to stop and break thread, bury them, start up here, break thread, and bury them. This is a continuous design. So how do I know where to, well, I know where to start. I shouldn't say that. How do I know where to end this? It's really quite easy, because if you look at this one that I've already got together, the point comes right where these two bulbous regions meet. Now, hopefully that makes sense. So if I want to put a little bit of a cheater line for myself, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my ruler down right at the largest point of this rotation, keeping that horizontal line straight. Because if you get that horizontal line off like this, it's going to skew where that line should be. So I'm just going to go like this, keeping everything nice and straight. And I could just put a little mark right there. It's as easy as that. Okay, now all I need to do is find my 12-inch arc. Now that may not be as easy. Question.
So mom and pop shop is Nova Scotia, Canada.
Wow, Nova Scotia, Canada. Well, welcome. That's awesome. We have some people that we know from our community who are in Nova Scotia.
On the island?
They are. They are. Yep. Rick and Marty Lagina,
The curse of
the Curse of Oak Island. Rick used to work at the post office I stopped at every day on my way home. Very nice man.
Thieves.
It is a small world. I hope they find that treasure they're looking for. I really do. I think that'd be so cool. Okay, so I'm pulling my thread up here. And I'm going to take my seam gauge. Mom and Pop, do you have a website?
You hear you and they answer. I'll get Chloe.
Okay. Ken told me get stitching. Never mind looking at the computer. Okay, I'm going to take my
That's what
first.
it's here for, Mom.
That's what they're here for. I know. I know. And they do a nice job. And I'm very happy that they do come and do this for me. It's the only time our family spends together all week, I think.
And we're told not to talk.
Yeah, they're not allowed to talk. I told them that tonight. No talking. I'm so mean. And neither of you two need to make a comment about that. Yeah. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this around so you can see better what I'm doing. So remember what I said when we put this line in, it's going to be the bottom of this hot air balloon. Okay,
Answer.
yes.
Quilt Shop. We do videos and tutorials for YouTube.
Oh, fantastic. I'm going to be looking you guys up tonight, okay? Awesome. Now, finally, we get to that point where we can line up our previous rotation and we know that we're right where we're supposed to be. And if you hold your seam gauge here, you might have to scooch it a little bit. One of those technical terms that I use right there. And off we go. We're going to do our component A first. All the way around. Now this is where you're going to see me make a lot of changes with the template. I would not suggest with this design doing all the A's, coming back and doing the B's, then coming back and doing the C's. I really think it is much better to do them all at one time. And that way you will keep them better aligned. Because if you notice, I don't have vertical lines drawn in here. I'm using the sides of my template to be sure that I'm as straight as I can be. Am I perfect? No. Okay. Definitely not perfect. I have never been, probably never will be. Although my husband should be disagreeing with me right now.
Does he take?
Oh, he said he's talking on the computer. Okay, so here is the C component. Now, as far as turning a corner, because I know somebody out there is going to ask, can you turn a corner with this? I'm not sure. I've never tried. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make another one. Nothing is perfect. You're absolutely right. That's okay. So we're going to come up here and I want to come down to this spot. Oops, I just put my template down. And now we're going to make an upside down one, except I'm going to go ahead and turn the fabric for you, make it easier. And I have a quilt coming. It's going to be for a young lady, and I'm going to need sashing treatment. And I thought, this is cute. This is going to look like bows. You'll notice I only used component A and component C. I didn't put B in here. I wanted to keep it a little cleaner. I know that we have modern quilters who like the lines to be somewhat cleaner, and that's good. You can accommodate anybody. Okay, there we go. We're going to come in here. We're going to put one more hot air balloon in. Okay, I'm going to change to the B component. Isn't this fun? I just love doing this. I mean, seriously, guys, I could do this all night long with you. Boy, that sounded like your accent, didn't it? Okay, I got off a little bit on this one. Again, not worrying about it. I'm kind of rushing it a little bit so that I can show you this last one because I really like this last one. There we go. And one more time. There we go. Should have done that with the last one, but I didn't. Haste makes waste, as they say. Up we go. And there we've got it. Isn't that adorable? Could you imagine on a little baby quilt that was done with hot air balloons? That would be like the perfect border treatment. Don't you agree? Yes.
What was that YouTube thing we binged on from Lost in Nova Scotia? There wasn't the name of it. You remember?
No, I don't. Ken said we binged on a YouTube and, yeah.
Oh, a Netflix.
Oh, Netflix. Oh, Netflix. Oh, Nova Scotia. It was Lost in Nova Scotia, I think. No, it was, anyway, it was a good show.
Yeah.
It really was. Thank you, Sue. And Linda's right. It does look like hot air balloons. Thank you, Linda. Linda. Oh, that is awesome. Guys, it's really not that difficult. In case you didn't have a piece of paper and a pencil before, I'm going to go over these measurements one more time for you, okay? We're going to start at the bottom. We're going to go up 2.5 inches. We're making horizontal lines, 2.5 inches. 1.25 inch will be our halfway mark on our on our templates. Then we're going to go up 1/2 inch, and that's going to bring us to the top of the upside down. We're going to go 1.25 inches. That's going to bring us to our halfway horizontal line. Then we're going to go 2.5 inches, and that's going to be the whole size of the upside down hot air balloon. Okay. Now, talking about turning corners, I think what I would do, is I would come in at this point and right on the halfway mark, that's going to be something we have to measure in. So it's going to be 3/4 of an inch from here to here. Halifax. Yeah. So right on this line is the point. Now that's not going to work either. To put a 45-degree line in, going to have to go like this. You guys, that's what I'm going to have to work on. Just off the top of my head, these angles are not going to work. Okay, so let me work on that, and hopefully I can find something to that effect. And I am going to be doing, actually, I'm working on it right now on a university class for border treatments, all kinds of border treatments. And I'm thinking this will be one of them that will be in the class. Okay, so we have one more to do. Okay, Sarah, would you grab me that teal colored fabric up there, please? And I did do this. No, hanging over. Yeah. And I did do this with the 2.5 inch size. Okay.
I don't know what color teal is.
I am going to give you guys a sneak peek, but you can't tell anybody. Okay. Here's one of the, this is one of the border designs that I just worked out. That will be in the class. Here is another one that I just worked out that will be in the class. Doesn't that look cool? It looks like Windows, doesn't it? I think that is so cool. This is a very, very easy border design that I put together. So what I want to do is show you guys lots of different things that you could do with borders. Lorraine is actually not even out yet. I'm working on it now, and it will be a border class, and I'm trying to decide whether we're going to do it as a Zoom class or strictly as a university class. Although I would love to do it as a Zoom class because I really like Zoom classes. I love the platform. I love working together. I love being able to, exchange ideas while we're doing it. So keep your eye out for that, okay? Now, what you'll see is I'm going end to end. So I put this down and then I turned it this way and then I turned it back this way. So all I'm doing is I am meeting up these rotations end to end. And it is so simple, okay? I'm going to go ahead and put this back up here. You're welcome, Lorraine. Definitely Zoom. Debbie, how did I know you were going to say that? Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put this down here. I want to make sure that you can see, and it's probably a good thing if I can see too. And we're going to pretend we're just starting here. So what I'm doing is instead of running my vertical line vertically, I'm running it horizontally. And it's okay, it works just fine, just fine. But I'm going to go ahead and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch it this way so you get a better look at it, okay? It's so important for me to make sure that you can see everything I'm doing. All right, and here we go. So I'm lining up that vertical center line. This is another one I would suggest doing both pieces, not doing all of the A component and coming back to the B component. Now you're going to notice I started on the wrong side, right? But that really isn't the wrong side because every other one that we do is going to have a heavier line of stitching on the top or on the bottom. And what we want to do is we want to, every other rotation, we want to make sure that we've got it on the opposite side. And what I mean by that is, I'm going to take this out. What you'll see is I did the double rotation up here, and then I did it down here. So this time it goes to the top. Your eye will adjust for that. If they were all on one side, your eye will not adjust for it, and it kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. Hate to say that, but that's pretty much what happens. Okay, for some reason, this thread of mine is all over the place tonight. So I want my double line to be on the top. So that is the direction I'm sewing in first. Okay, so up on the top we go. And now we're gonna go down on the bottom. We're going to come around and up on the top. Now, all I need to do is flip that template around. And I'm going to come down on the bottom and up on the top. Now this time, I'm not going to be coming and putting my heavy stitch in the small one. I'm going to be putting in the tall one, or the rounder one. Okay. If you are OCD, which I am not, so it doesn't matter, you could switch this every time so that the dual stitched line was always either on the A component or the C component. I guess for me, I just didn't find it to be that much of a difference. However, maybe if I were doing this on a real quilt, I would do that. My foot just gave way. There we go. That's the only downfall of this beautiful machine. The foot will vibrate loose on it. Okay, step up there. Now we're going to come back down on the lower half. We're going to stop when we get to the center line. And we're just going to turn the template. That is such an easy design, and it is a very quick design as well. And I don't have a lot to hold on to right now. This is why I'm kind of, my template doesn't have a lot to hold on to here. So it's kind of moving around a little bit on me. Sadly. Okay, so now I'm going to take the A component out and put C in. There we go. Just like that. Use my spacing gauge. Now this one was on the bottom, so I will come to the top on this one first. Up we go, and down we go. And okay, if this was my last one, I still would go ahead and make that double line of stitching up here because I want everything to be consistent. Now, I'm going to leave this right here because I'm going to show you guys turning a corner with this design is a piece of cake. We're going to go around the corner like that. Now I'm going to take the C out and put the A in. Go like this. There we go. Double check because I think I might have slipped. Oh, just a little, huh? There we go. And around we're going to go. That's up we're going to go. And the last one was on the upper half, so I'm going to use the lower half this time. And flip it and continue. Okay. And I'll just start this. I'm not going to go ahead. I'm not going to do a whole rotation. Well, get the idea. Okay. You see how easy that one is to turn a corner? Pretty cool, huh? This is probably the easiest one you'll do this week. Oh, I hope you do it. I hope you find that this has been helpful. Okay, so there's our borders. Here's how we turn a corner. And you know, it would work the same with this one. The only difference being is they would kind of overlap each other a little bit. It's not the end of the world. So here's our big border. Okay, our hot air balloons and our upside down hot air balloons. This is with our points out, which is very intricate. I think it's beautiful. And here's where the bulbous end goes out, which I love too. So you can see that you can get a lot of great ideas from the Triad Teardrops. If you don't have them, I hope that you get them and play with them and just get an idea of just how versatile they are. They are so versatile. Lorraine asks, what template are you using? It looks like a combination of other single templates I already have. Okay, not a problem, Lorraine. You do not need to apologize. I am using the Triad Teardrops. It's a DM quilting design. It comes in different shapes. So the teardrop isn't the only shape you would have with this. Oh, hi, Kathy. I didn't see you come in before. This set is now on the top of Lee's wish list. Let me look here. Where we go? There we go. Lee said this is at the top. Debbie is absolutely right. They're very versatile. They really are. Suzanne, you are welcome. You are welcome. It is my pleasure to be here each week. It really is. Linda wants a Zoom class. Okay. More and more, I'm getting people wanting Zoom classes because they are interactive. They are fun to do. They are really fun to do and fun to work together. So thank you, Judy. I appreciate those very nice words. Thank you, Linda. Yeah, I do love this one too, Linda Martindale. I really do. So if you guys don't have any more questions, tomorrow morning we'll be meeting and we will be looking at the border sampler template set. And that's at 8 o'clock Central Time, 9 o'clock Eastern. 7 o'clock Mountain Time, and I'm sorry for all you West Coast people. It's going to be 6 o'clock in the morning where you're at. If you found that you like this, please don't forget to subscribe, share, and like. I had to look at Sarah and see which one I was supposed to be saying. Oh, Lynn, you are quite welcome. Pardon me?
Mention TikTok coming up too.
Oh yeah, Sarah's making me do a TikTok thing, so I don't know how that's gonna go, guys, but you can watch for it. See you in the morning, Terry. Thanks a lot. And Pam, thank you as well. So until we meet again, let's quilt.